All right, let's get after it. The Blues absolutely blow up and decimate the Minnesota Wild game 1 on the road. This was one heck of a barn burner, wasn't it? I think there were like 3 billion penalties. No, it wasn't 3 billion. It was 18 minor penalties, a 10-minute misconduct. There was a whole bunch of stuff going on. So we're going to recap. We're going to talk about what happened here. Wild and Blues fans. Blues fans, you're going to love it. Wild fans, not so much, but you've already been through the worst of it, which is your team getting beat up there. So let's go ahead and let's get after it. But we can't forget that we are sponsored by BetUS. Hey, we're corporate shills. It's the way it goes. Head over to BetUS.com, smash down code HDS, or use the link down below. Go ahead, bet on hockey. And hey, maybe Wild fans, you can go ahead and smash a bet on the Minnesota Wild next game. If you feel a little bit of revenge coming in, or Blues fans, double down. Just make sure you're over the age of majority in your state or province and you're Canadian or American resident. I use it. It's pretty great. Okay, so in our playoff preview, I mean, if this is your first time being to our channel, we'll go... I'll rewind and tell you what I said, paraphrase it so you don't have to go watch an hour video, but subscribe and join us. You'll learn 1 or 2 things about hockey here. And hey, you can always knock me for the enunciation of your favorite player's name. So what ended up happening in this game is what we talked about in our playoff breakdown, which was, I said, the Blues are heavy and the Wild are aggressive. We also said that the Blues have the best special teams in this. They have the best power play. They have the best penalty kill. And we said the Wild have an atrocious power play and also an equally atrocious penalty kill. It is below number 20 in the NHL in pretty much both rankings. Their power play might have been 12. I don't even need to go back to fact check it because I know the Blues are 4 for power play. The Blues have a pretty good penalty kill and the Wild just didn't. So we ended up saying this was going to be a battle of special teams. I said the size of the St. Louis Blues is going to meet the aggression of the Minnesota Wild. The Minnesota Wild are not as big as the Blues. You don't believe me? Boom. Graphic. Blues bigger. Wild more aggressive. All right. I said they were going to bait the Minnesota Wild into taking penalties, and that's exactly what they did. And I also said that they will trade power play and penalty kill with them because they trust their own penalty kill. And that's what they did. They made this a hyper aggressive game and said, we are shutting this down from 5-on-5. Let's play on special teams because we can dummy you in special teams. And that's exactly what happened. I understand it's only 2 power play goals, but that is enough to change a series. So it's not just a hat rack. Sometimes it's a big brain play. If I was coaching this team and I'm not Craig Berube, I'm not as good as him. I mean, clearly he makes millions of dollars. Duh. But anyways, I can give you some kind of insight. That is exactly what I would be doing if I was Berube. I'd be using my veterans like O'Reilly, like Krug, like Perron. I'd be ragdolling them. I'd be hooking them, pulling them, slashing them, whatever I need to do to get under their skin, pushing and shoving. Because in a war of attrition, when you're the bigger team, not only are you likely going to come out less injured and less hurt, and we all know the playoffs is about attrition, but if you're the better special teams, you're going to go ahead and take them to the box and you're going to score. And that's what happened. Minnesota played right into their game. We also know going into this series that both Minnesota and St. Louis scored a ridiculous clip, number 3 and number 4 in the NHL overall. We know that both Minnesota and St. Louis, they don't get enough shots to justify the amount of goals they get either. And what was interesting about this game is that we also talked about the fact that St. Louis 5-on-5, their defense, not that good. And I'm not saying their defense, like Krug, Parayko, Faulk are amazing. I'm saying team defense. As a unit of 6, goalie plus 2 defenders and the forwards, they are number 23 in the NHL for shots against. They take so many shots against. They have such horrendous underlying statistics, like so far below a playoff team, it hurts. So this matchup against Minnesota is excellent because Minnesota, 1, doesn't get a lot of shots. Normally, this game's a little bit out of control. And number 2, Minnesota has the exact same strength as St. Louis, except St. Louis may actually be slightly... No, they're not better. Minnesota is better 5-on-5, but Minnesota doesn't get a ton of shots. They scored a ridiculous clip. St. Louis gets less shots, scores at a more ridiculous clip. St. Louis has poor team defense. St. Louis has amazing power play and penalty kill. And that was this game. It's all she wrote. It was like a prediction, a spoiler, if you will, going into this game. And what do I mean? Well, we walk over here to tsn.com, American fans. It's one of our big sites here. And we draw a little bit of a home plate here around the net. And these are the prime scoring chances. And you could almost include these guys here. But this little home plate here that is poorly drawn with a whole bunch of squiggles, these are the best shots in the game. And it looks really clear when you see this. These aren't great shots, but we always talk about it. We talk about things like the Royal Road. It's a straight line down the center of the ice. It's just a concept that says if you go left to right, in hockey and you make those kind of chances, you're going to score. And that's really what the Blues ended up doing to exploit Fleury. Looking over at the Minnesota Wild, we can see as well too, like look at the chances the Wild got on the Blues. So many from the home plate. This was amazing. So it's kind of interesting when you take a look at this, right? 37 shots for the Wild. That's not usually like the Wild. So Ville Husso absolutely stands on his head and steals it. And we said Husso has had the better season over Binnington. He's clearly the future, the starter, at least I think so. He had a very mediocre April, but he has returned fully to form. So St. Louis, you give up a lot of shots. Minnesota, you shoot a lot. Minnesota, you shoot a little and score a lot. But in this one, you shot a lot and scored a little. So the script flipped a little bit for Minnesota, but I like what Minnesota's doing. Underlying, I understand it's a 4-0 beatdown, but I love the fact that you're getting chances. Jeez Louise, finally, you're getting chances. It's a long series. The only thing Minnesota is going to have to do is chill out just a bit on the aggressive level. I mean, at the end of the game, once it's already blown out, yeah, let's let the gong show fly, get in there. You got to leave with some pride. But in the first 2 periods before the game blows out, you need to make sure you calm down because you don't want to get drawn into the penalty box and put that amazing power play to work. Just don't do it. Stay out of the crap. I know it sounds counterproductive to the playoffs, but when a team has just basically the exact same strengths as you, these are almost carbon copies of each other. Deep teams, not riddled with a ton of superstars that don't have the best underlying fundamentals, but like old school beat 'em up depth type hockey. And it's a great matchup for both of us. It's a great win for the fans. Goal number 1 by Perron is pretty clear. I mean, it ends up suiting down here, but Jost is the guy we want to look at here. I don't think he does the greatest job on this one, and Dumba is really left holding the bag on this one. What you see is that as Ryan O'Reilly bumps out here, and I mean, the puck has now moved down low here to David Perron. As Ryan O'Reilly bumps out here from the middle, Jost has to get in and get behind him, and the rest of the Minnesota Wild need to collapse into a tighter box. What's happening down here in terms of a net front battle is just fine. So as that puck pops out to O'Reilly, he makes a great shot. And again, this is because Jost isn't in the position he needs to be in. Hartman, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't love where you're sitting here. I understand you have to be in the middle, but I think you got to be more supportive. That's way too passive. And unfortunately for Fleury, this is just the story of the night. He makes a beautiful save. That puck jumps right out to Perron's stick. And this is what I mean. Like, Hartman isn't doing anything over here. I don't like this path on the kill. As soon as you need to get aggressive, you don't want to hold your position or your box. You need to be aggressive and support your goaltender. So, I mean, I would have gone this way if I was Hartman. But he's not the big one to pick on. I mean, like I said, Jost over here is totally out of position, and Mathew Dumba had to step up to O'Reilly to take that shot. He had no other chance because Jost did nothing. So if I count, I don't like what Jost did. I don't like what Hartman did. So you're basically playing 2-on-5 at this point, especially when you make mistakes like this. All right, more defensive brain farts here. Look, John Merril, I don't know what he's doing on this one. Like, he just leaves Ryan O'Reilly in front of the middle of the net. It's a weird switch. It's strange to me. So now the puck's going to come up the wall. It's going to cross our favorite line, which is the Royal Road, and it's going to move over here to Justin Faulk. So what I don't understand is that Merril is now following. I just don't get it. Like, what are you doing? I also don't understand what his partner's doing over here, because now we have bottled up 5 on one side of the ice, and you don't want to be doing this when the puck has gone north to south or south to north and is now at the top, because all they're going to do is widen the zone. This is so easy for St. Louis. They widen that zone beautifully over here to Faulk, and now you can see it. Like I said, everybody's in trouble. Look where everybody's contained on one end of the ice. Our Royal Road goes through the middle of the ice, and I love that east to west width. It's amazing. Because of the weird defensive switch over there from John Merril, now we're left with Ryan O'Reilly all alone and uncontested in front of the net. One beauty little slap pass later, Fleury makes another huge save, but we all know off the second save, O'Reilly's just going to walk around and score. Now that's 2 times Fleury's made a beautiful first save across the Royal Road with no reason to be able to make that save. The goalie shouldn't be able to make that first save. That's not his, like, I get it's his job. It's what he's supposed to do. It's a stupid statement, but that's a hard save to make. It's the hardest save to make in hockey. So he makes the first one, and do you help him on the second one? Nope. Terrible positioning, bad puck luck. But mostly I'm talking about the positioning. Perron again here on the power play. Look, it's going to be one coast-to-coast pass, a beautiful shot. and then an unfortunate rebound that goes coast to coast again and perfectly lands on Perron's stick. It's a theme for Fleury. He is trying his best. We get to see that 180-degree post-to-post kick save. Just a beautiful job by Fleury. This is so hard to do, especially on a power play against one of the best in the league. And then that puck just rolls out. And I want you to watch Fleury here. It's that little hiccup that you saw. It's just that little giddy up. I don't know if you could see it there, but you don't get the strength to do a double push. I mean, it is incredible what he can do there with his legs to make that push. But when you're pushing one side back to another, you just don't have the power because you can't get into a proper stance to make it. And the fact that he almost makes the save is a testament to how good of a goaltender and how strong Marc-Andre Fleury is. And then finally, the Perron hat trick. This poor guy, Fleury, again, post to post, cross, banks out, goes in. It's the same goal every time. We see that beautiful, just beautiful. That was amazing. Post to post save again. He is one of the best in the NHL at doing this. That should be a goal all day, every day. But unfortunately, look at that unbelievable luck. That puck just rolled right off his stick, perfectly over to Perron. No chance again. You're not going to double push that. So there you have it. It's basically 4 of the same goals. Coast to coast, stretch it, get Fleury moving. He makes the first save every single time. But the Minnesota team defense, what are you guys doing? Just out of position. You're out of position all game. You get no help to your goaltender. You take a bunch of penalties. The coach really needs to go in and give himself one of these. He should have been telling his players that this is what's going to be happening. That team D needs to tighten up. But you know what? It's only one game. Only one game. It'll be all right. I think Minnesota will end up taking the next one. I feel like this is going to 7, but if Minnesota loses game 2, especially in this fashion, we could be getting out the broom. So fingers crossed if you're a Wilds fan, go Blues go. If you're a Blues fan, thanks for being here, guys. We'll catch you in the next one.